Hi, welcome to the 15th episode of the Expat podcast. Today we sit down with Boney, who is a musician and a singer and a teacher and one of the most positive people that I know here in Taipei. We talk about the 3 different African countries that he has roots in, including the food and the culture and even the national anthems of these countries. We also run through some Ugandan trivia, which sparks some interesting conversation about the country that I believe is nearest to his heart. A side note, although Lawrence, who was the last podcast guest, has generously offered to help with the audio and editing for this podcast, and particularly for this episode, we did have minimal control over the environment where we were in. So there may be some unwanted background noise and conversation throughout the podcast. That said, I did recently upgrade my audio setup, so look forward to better audio production in the future. This episode is brought to you by the apocalypse. If we're all going to die any day, may as well keep that camera on. Without further ado, here's Boney. For all of us. Yes. Okay, we're good. We're live. And hopefully we can take do some little B-roll afterwards if you have like some instruments. The cool thing about this, it's like a 3D camera, so you can take these 3D videos essentially, which are essentially useless, right? Like unless like people are hanging out with VR goggles. Yeah, right. But you can make these just weird, like distorted,
effects.
You've seen these before, right? Like there's like tiny world things, or like zoom in on different places. It's just trippy and weird,
Exactly.
But
it's fun
cool.
though.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Good,
It's interesting. It's interesting as like an introduction to just like trip people out a little bit and then get into the interview.
Exactly. Like
yeah,
that's pretty good.
All right. So hello.
Hello.
Boney. He's calling you Bonnie. Are you saying your name Boney or
Boney?
Boney. Okay.
It's Boney, not Bonnie.
Okay. Want to make sure. I could be wrong. I want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah.
You are from Uganda, yes?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. Because I did some research on Uganda and I was terrified. What if I got the country wrong and I'm doing the research on the wrong country?
No, it is the right country.
I'm very happy with this.
Yes,
all right, so this is a very general question I ask to people and it kind of doesn't make any sense, but tell me, what was it like growing up in Uganda?
All right.
It's such a big question,
It's a big question. Yeah. Now, you should know that I didn't grow up from Uganda, like originally. I was born in Kenya, so half my life was in Kenya, the other half was in Uganda, and I've been all over the place. But growing up, Uganda is next to Kenya is next to Uganda. Uganda is next to Kenya because this is all East Africa, and they're pretty much the same. Almost share the same languages.
For real.
The same costumes, some traditions, and all that. There's a bit of difference in culture, but it's almost the same. The other thing is, like growing up in Kenya, I experienced a little bit, because I was a foreigner in Kenya again, coming from another country.
So you're Ugandan, but were raised mostly in Kenya?
In Kenya, but again, my family came from South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Question? Yes, sir?
Your mic, move it over to the other side.
Okay. This is our first podcast where we have a dedicated audio expert setting us up. This is how you know you've moved up in the world.
On the actual right side instead of the left.
Here?
Do I do that to mine
So
too?
basically on the collar. So whichever direction you're facing is where the mic should be.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so...
That's a little bit better?
And slightly away from your hairs.
From my... Okay. Next time we got to get like hair and makeup.
Yeah, right.
Like some costume people,
Get it right.
Yes.
Let me help you out with that.
Thank you.
I didn't know that you were going to be on this side. May as well get it done properly.
Yeah, yes.
Get it done once.
Beautiful.
All right.
Gorgeous. Thank you. All right, so Kenya, Uganda, South Africa. Yep. What's the sequence here?
All right, so the thing is, my dad was from South Africa originally, and he moved to Kenya. This was during the apartheid, and he was like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this. And he moved to Kenya.
Was that a common thing? A lot of black South Africans moved out of South Africa during apartheid?
Yes, there was an exodus of Africans moving out.
I guess if you could afford it, right? I guess
if you could, yes, that's one. Even though you couldn't afford, because it's road transport. There was road transport. You could travel by road, although it's quite far. It's like a 7 days journey. Exactly, it's halfway. Yeah. but he did it. I mean, he was able to.
Why Kenya? Of all places.
I never got a chance to ask him this question actually. But Kenya was one of those African countries that was progressing, especially after independence or colonialism. And also, I mean, Kenya at some point it was one of the progressive countries that had a white minister. I think almost like the only African country that had one of those. And you know, it had a tourism going on, a lot of foreigners coming in. Kenya was so open to everybody. So, and it was developing, that's another thing. So we moved to Kenya. My dad met my mom in Kenya, you know. My mom is from Western Kenya, and then they had me.
Okay.
And yeah, they divorced immediately.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
What did you do?
I don't know, man. I don't know how that went down.
Fault.
I don't know how that went down, man. But
isn't it a crazy thing? Like so my parents are still together, but
Yeah.
like it's such a common thing that when people's parents get divorced,
Yeah.
kids think it's their fault. That's like super common.
it's the kid's
Right?
fault?
No, the kids believe it's their fault. They get these like they're like 5 or 6, and they get this deep guilt that like lasts for their whole
Not
life.
for
That like
me
they
though,
screwed
because I
up.
was only 1 year old when they divorced.
Because
so-
I just made a joke, and I hope that
I
wasn't
know,
too
I
sensitive.
understand,
or
I understand,
something.
but it was never my problem. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
okay,
I'm
okay,
very sure
okay,
about it.
yeah,
But the
yeah,
only thing
yeah.
is,
You were young.
I mean, my dad was he was an explorer. You know, he was trying to live his best. You know, best of
Yeah.
his life. And my mom was young. You know, the story she told me, she's like, this was my first man, and you know, so that's how it went down.
Yeah.
My auntie took over and raised me, and that's how I ended up in Uganda. We moved to Uganda after Kenya was like, things were getting even tighter, especially when the political atmosphere changed. You know, they had one of those presidents who was I wouldn't say really good, but you know, he did his best, and then the atmosphere changed a little bit. We had to move on. I moved to Uganda, and then that was 1993.
How old are you?
Right now, I'm 37 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You look not 37.
About
Do you get that a
60.
lot?
I get that a lot. You look
Okay.
They say I look 60.
How old are you? 6. You're 6 years old?
How old do you think I am?
I mean, I would say my age, I'm like 30.
All right.
I guess not a
It's
huge difference.
Yeah,
Not a huge,
yeah, same
Shaboto,
age
more or
bracket,
less.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm 37, man.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool,
Anyway,
cool.
yeah. So I mean, I moved to Uganda, and life moved on. 1993, 1994. By the way, all this time I never had a close relationship with my dad. So yeah, I didn't know.
Did he
him
also
that
come
much.
to Uganda, or he was
He
in
did.
Kenya?
Eventually, he did. Yes,
Okay.
he moved to Uganda because he started up a business, and you know, he established himself, got another lady, woman, you know, family, all that, and you know, life moved on with him until 1994, when you know, tragedy happened. Yeah, left he was going for a funeral early in the morning. I was at school, and there was an accident that everyone heard about. It was actually nearby, you know, and then it was like, oh, there was an accident, bus accident. Pretty
For
bad.
reference, we were talking about this before the
Yeah.
camera started rolling. This is not totally out of context.
Exactly, yeah, right. And you know, I mean, he passed on, and the only thing that hurts me, I think I cried a little bit for him, but I didn't know who he was.
You weren't super close with him. So.
Exactly, that's one thing. The only time I was really super close with him is when he was spanking me for, you know, doing something wrong.
So you don't have like warm, beautiful.
Memories about it?
Yeah.
Nah.
Your
Not
mom
at
or your auntie? Who are you closer with?
my auntie actually.
Yeah. So mostly
auntie's
raised by
the
her,
bomb,
right?
Man.
Cool,
Yeah, man.
cool.
So
she's still around. You go back to visit her.
a lot of
periodically?
times, yeah. She just had an operation 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
We've been keeping in touch. It was a successful one.
Good.
She's
good,
recovering,
good,
so
good,
it's pretty
good.
good. I'm actually gonna
Wonderful.
call her after this.
All right.
I'm gonna make a phone call.
All right,
find out
cool.
how
We
she's
could
doing.
like Zoom her in, like Skype her or something.
She's-
Get her on the interview.
She's so old school. She has WhatsApp. She never uses it.
right.
I need to call somebody else to tell her to load her phone. Like, hey,
Oh my gosh.
get some internet. Then she goes by some few minutes, but she never does that, by the way. So I
see.
have to call her directly, which is pretty expensive.
You know, this is a crazy thing that like, so So like obviously I'm from America, which is like a pretty developed, rich country, and the only countries I've visited have mostly been developed or rich, or mostly something like this. Even living in like China and Taiwan.
Yeah.
But you look at stats about internet access around the world, and it's something like close to. This is not like close to a half of people don't have internet access, as defined by they haven't used the internet in the last year.
Exactly.
Half of the people in the fucking world
have
not used the internet in the last year.
That's true, but that is also because of like in my country, it's expensive. Like it's, you know how Africa is. I don't want to sound, I don't know how, but like Uganda specifically.
Yeah.
It has its own issues, even with the
about
internet.
just infrastructure, like internet infrastructure.
Infrastructure, management, the way they manage the country, the finances. There are a lot of problems concerning that. Like right now, talking about the internet, they have all kinds of taxes. They tax the poor to the bone. They tax. Actually, right now, I was reading about a tax that is called Facebook Live task. Like if you're a blogger, oh my God, that's so insane. That doesn't make any sense. All bloggers are like, what?
How can they collect that? Like, they have to catch you streaming on Facebook?
It doesn't make any sense at all. Then there's the OTT. I don't know what OTT means in full, but it's more like you can have internet, but it will not work. You have to buy. There's a tax you have to pay for your internet to function, and then also your internet has limited time. So that means if you don't buy the tax for that, time will come and it'll be like cut off.
So you mean they just have like a bunch of random taxes for like a bunch of things?
Exactly.
And that just makes things complicated.
The economy is pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
They got debt loans from China, which they have mishandled. And I don't want to be political about this.
It's not just them mishandling it. Like China is very smart about, right?
Exactly, that's one thing.
What's it, the Belt and Road Initiative?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah, and
nabbing up
I don't want to go
countries.
deep into that, but
it is really interesting.
It is interesting.
Super cool. It's horrible and interesting and wonderful.
It is, but I don't want to go that side.
Okay,
I mean, we have elections
not.
coming up.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, next year. So I'm pretty much careful of
So I was just doing a little bit of research, and I don't know how old. I essentially looked up like Uganda trivia, okay, and like a Uganda Wikipedia page. I don't know how old a lot of my info was, but is it true you've had the same president now for like
30?
Six terms or something for a long time, forever?
35
right?
years. He came. He's called Yoweri Museveni, and he came as a guerrilla fighter. It was a coup d'état. And he, like any other president, he said, "I'm just gonna be here for a short while. I'm just gonna establish democracy." But that wasn't the case. Yeah, and right now he wants to die on that throne. So I mean, he's got his issues. I don't know, man. Like it's pretty bad. Like it's been bad, like politically, whereby the youth feel like they're being left out, and yet they form the largest population, jobless youth. There's a high crime rate right now, and I'm not just talking bad about my country, but it's one thing that Africa needs to sort out. Like their administrative style, their governance. Like if you say I'm gonna be there for 10 years, or just respect the Constitution. That's all you gotta do. He changed it like 3 years ago. It said you have an age limit. You have an age limit, and
for the president.
I think it was.
Dude, that's awesome. Like
and then
you shouldn't have 80-year-old presidents. They're too old.
Exactly, but he bribed everybody. He changed it, and then there was a huge fight in the parliament, and it went viral. So. Yeah, it's kind of annoying that I don't want to think about it most of the time.
I feel you.
I'm like,
do you feel like the politics in your country, like it just makes you like not so proud to be a Ugandan?
Yes.
Man, this is something we can agree about right now with each other
as
an American. Like, there's no Taiwanese politics.
Right now. Yeah, exactly. I don't know much about Chinese politics. I'm a bit careful.
Me neither, but it's a great country.
I don't want to give opinions about.
The internet is wonderful. The internet
that is great. That is great. Yeah, back to the internet. Like like right now, the only person that I connect to on the internet is my sister. Yeah, that's the only person I can get. But my aunties always direct calls, which are freaking expensive.
Really? Yeah.
And sometimes they block me, by the way. Like the Taiwanese network here, it blocks me. Yeah, and they're like,
that's strange, but it is kind of an old-fashioned thing, right? Like
yeah.
Well, I mean, it really used to be that if you wanted to call someone in a different country, it cost you $3 a minute, you know, and you could talk for a few minutes and try to say. But ever since the internet, like, it's all been free.
Yeah,
forever,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Unless you don't have, your auntie, she's not, you know.
Yeah, right.
Connected using a smartphone, then.
Yeah, she has a smartphone, but she doesn't want to do it.
It's all good. It's all good.
Old school.
All right, are you ready for Uganda trivia?
Yeah, please do.
I haven't. I think you're the first. So this will be episode what, like 14, 15 or something of these interviews I've done.
All right.
And I believe you're the first person from Africa that I've interviewed, right?
Yeah.
So
pioneer.
Yeah. So if you have any other friends, exactly pioneer. And so I took this trivia pretty light, especially because like. If I had, I'm sure you've told me about, you know, South Africa and Kenya before.
Yeah.
If I would have remembered these things, which I didn't, I would have made like some more in-depth trivia. But we have something to get started on anyway.
All right.
All right. So there's a bird. Mm-hmm. Do you know the rest of the question?
Yeah.
On your flag.
Yeah.
What's the bird?
It's called the Uganda crane.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Just a crane. Have you ever seen a Ugandan crane?
Yes, I've seen one in a swamp.
Oh, for real?
Somewhere up country. Yeah, and we were so excited. We were young.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we tried. Like young boys, I tried to hit it, and that is actually.
It's like a national crime.
It's treason.
Oh, for real?
It is treason.
Okay, because it's like protected, right?
Exactly. You can't do that. Yeah.
So you've traveled around the country a lot, or was it just
around the
stick to one
country
place?
and around the world. I've been to Rwanda. You know Rwanda, right? Where the genocide happened. I've been to Tanzania. I've been to South Africa. I've been to the UK. You know, yeah. So basically, these countries.
We want to talk about this stuff in a bit.
All right.
We will. Okay, so you're 1 for 1. It gets harder, sir.
All right.
How many? I will give you within 10. Within
right.
10, because this is not a fair question.
Okay.
How many languages are there in Uganda?
Oh,
within
right.
10.
Okay, within 10.
Yeah.
So you want me to mention them?
Or are you going to list all of them?
Only.
You can list some if you want.
All right. Okay. The one that I identify with is the Baganda, which is like the main language and the dominant tribe.
Okay.
But I think we have. Damn, could we have like 100 plus languages?
It says, well, okay, so I have to say all of this trivia was on like a 90s style Flash website called like Trivia of Uganda, where they had things like Uganda is 1.3 times the size of Poland. Just like what? Like why? Who cares about these things? So I cannot verify how accurate any of these things are. It says 30. It said 30.
30 languages?
That's what it said. It said 30 languages. You think more? You think gotta be more?
Because first of all, you gotta know right now you're gonna open up its borders.
Okay.
Whereby even some of our neighbors became a tribe. You know, like in my own country. I'll give you an example. Like you got who neighbors Taiwan immediately. Like let's say
Philippines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the Philippines becomes a tribe in Taiwan. That's how they did it. That's not how it is here.
Oh, you mean the Philippines people would be considered like
a tribe
of
exactly.
the Taiwan?
Yes,
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay,
So that's how they did it. Because I think the Rwandese have become a tribe in my country, and also some other countries bordering.
So there's immigrants into the country,
yes.
and also
and then they form up all these groups and they become tribes. And
interesting.
You know, yeah, we even have a tribe, an Indian tribe.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, the early Indians who came in the country, they're called I don't know if you could correct me, the Goas.
Goas?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We call them the Bagoa, but they're called Goas. So yes.
What does this mean for the different tribes? Like so let's say that like there's a lot of like let's say like native groups of people, and people have come in and out of the country, and then the borders are open. A lot of other people come in, so you have like all of these tribes. What does it mean to be in a member of one of these tribes? It's different laws related to them, or just different things on your ID, or
there's
just cultural, or
there's nothing. First of all, there's the beauty of diversity, especially for visitors. But also there's a lot of divisions that happen. Right now they're not so serious, but politically, like when everything is politicized, then you get to see it. Like right now we have a dominant tribe that is into every set building and doing all the the high jobs, the high paying jobs.
I see. And everyone else is kind of angry at them.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So that's what happens.
Everyone else.
Yeah. But apart from that, everyone lives peacefully in Uganda. It's a peaceful country. What fucks it up? Excuse my language. It is the politics. That's what fucks it up. But apart from that, it's a peaceful country. Everyone lives their own lives. You come in, they'll take you in. They'll even give you a name. Like if I'm in Uganda, I'll give you a Luganda name. Or if someone from the Iteso, which is
it's friendly for visitors. You're saying
so
like
friendly,
for people to come in.
So friendly, yeah. So friendly that it's taken advantage of. Yeah, because we get Chinese coming in as vendors. They come in as investors, but they end up on the street vending like everybody else.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's how terrible it is.
You mean and compete with the locals?
With the locals,
and then people hate them for that?
They do not hate them. That's the thing. There's no hate. Because when you go to South Africa, again, now it's different. South Africa has xenophobia, which is the problem. They hate even their own skin color, as long as you're not from South Africa. It's more like the purge. I don't know how the purge works in America, but
the purge?
Yeah, the purge.
You mean what? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you mean the movie where people?
Yeah.
Where you have like a day to like murder anyone you want?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that true? Is that real?
What are you talking about?
It's just a movie, right?
It's a movie.
Oh,
it is a movie, right?
I'm not
I don't know the name of it. It is definitely from Rick and Morty, but it's like a common, like a horror movie.
I always thought it's true. Like,
what are you talking? No, you
real,
can't believe that.
I was like, man, America is crazy for blood, man.
Oh my God.
Honestly,
I think a lot of people would be down for it. A lot of people would be into that.
Yeah, right.
For real. There's this guy you like hate. You have like a beef with him, and you can go fight him. Like,
exactly. So I saw the movie. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So there must be an inspiration behind it, and it could be like from real life, But my point was that xenophobia has that relation, whereby one of the leaders just says, "Hey, listen, we take back what belongs to us," and then you have all these South Africans going attacking everybody. And,
there's been issues with what in the last couple years. People attacking white farmers, is it?
No, that's Zimbabwe. That's different.
No, in South Africa.
Oh, even in South Africa, yes. Even in South Africa.
Some
it was
farmers,
more...
because they're saying, I think the idea was that like historically, like it wasn't their land. These are like Dutch people essentially, right?
Yeah, that's
who came
one
some 100, 200 years ago.
Yeah, that's one thing. But also the fact that they failed to resolve the issue of how much property do I get? Because you get one farmer with like 100 acres of land.
Farms are big, yeah.
Yes, and I'm like, wait a minute. Why would you have 100 acres of land as a white person in my land, and I got nothing?
Yep.
Give me 20. Give me something. And
The
other guy says, I'm not going to release 20 acres of land that I've worked.
Yeah, it was my father's. Like, we deserve this.
So at the end of the day, then you have these conflicts. But that land issue, yes, it's been there, led to a massive exodus also, a lot of, but it was more in Zimbabwe because the government backed it up.
Oh,
and,
I see.
And the government was like, okay, all white settlers, they lost. We're giving the land back to, the proper owners.
And how did that work out?
It doesn't make no sense to me, man. Like,
okay.
At the end of the day, I mean, it's always mismanagement.
That is another big political conversation.
That's another conversation.
That's a big thing. Which, by the way, I feel like we could definitely sit here for 35 hours and just figure out everything about life. That would not be an issue. But
exactly.
Question number 3, sir. I'm from Michigan.
Yep.
Michigan and Uganda have something in common. What is that?
Wow. Michigan and Uganda.
It would be obvious if you saw a map of both places.
Okay, if I saw a map of both places, they have a lake.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michigan is the home of the Great Lakes, the U.S. Great Lakes, and Uganda has the biggest of the African Great Lakes, right?
Exactly. Yes. Which is Lake Victoria.
Yeah. Have you visited?
Actually stay close to Lake Victoria.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess most of the population is in kind of the south of Uganda, right?
No.
Or is that
they're spread out.
Okay.
But it's a small country.
But Lake Victoria is in the south, but it's crazy
It's
when you see it
huge.
on the map.
Yeah.
It's like a major part of the country is just this huge lake.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. It's pretty huge, man. It's really
No,
huge. Like,
it's one of the biggest lakes in the world.
it's shared by 3 countries. That's what it is. It's shared by 3 countries, so that's
Yeah.
pretty huge.
Yeah, enormous.
So am I right? Am I
yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
Awesome.
it. Yeah, that's
Alright,
it. That's
good.
it. What do people do there? Do people
Farming,
Okay.
fishing, cultivating.
do people go like scuba diving? Is that
No,
a thing?
not at all.
Or
So
do people have like
here's
boats
the
or they
thing,
have
and
like water
I thought
sports?
about this actually. This is like a natural conversation, right?
Yeah.
So I thought
about
about it. I think 2 days ago. When I went to Wai'ao and like in Taiwan, you can access the beaches, right? Like it's easy for you to access all the water bodies. I mean there are restrictions, right? But you can access most of them. Do your thing. In Uganda, all these shores have been taken up by investors, so-called investors. So what happens is like if you want to get to a shore, you have to pay.
Or to just go on like a beach.
Yeah, exactly. Because somebody has taken over and he's maintaining it, he's making it look good and blah, blah, blah. And then he's got food, you gotta buy the food, come in with your own food and all that, you know what I'm saying?
So not just like big like national parks where you can just go hang out.
No, you can't. Even the
So
park.
what kind of private?
I just thought about this. There are no parks, man. Like, at the end of the day, there are no social hangouts.
Like public places
Exactly.
that everyone can
Yeah,
freely
exactly.
use.
Everything has been commercialized, Yeah, you have to pay something. Kind of sucks, but yeah.
Yeah, that is something I feel like I think definitely a hallmark of like a well-managed country is having a lot of public spaces, right? I mean, Taiwan, great example. Right?
Exactly.
Like beautiful parks everywhere.
Yeah, right.
You're free to hang out wherever you want. Do pretty much whatever you want.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, that's
you can
true.
go to a coffee shop if you want, buy coffee, But pretty much like if you had no money, you'd have no problem spending the day doing whatever you want.
Exactly.
Hang out with your friends. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's the thing. Yeah. So we don't have that, but I've been there a couple of times. I've crossed over to other countries using the waters.
Like ferries or something.
No, not ferries. A boat, like a really funny boat, an engine boat.
Cool. Yeah,
those engine boats, and the waves are strong, and they're hitting the boat and it's going up and down, and like, this is the day that I die, And so that's how bad it was.
It's intense. Super nice. All right. Question numero 4. All right. I've got some 3 food words for you. I want you to tell me what they are.
Yep.
And this is really where we get to like, this was just some Ugandan dude on a website trying to talk about his country.
Right.
Who knows if you've ever heard of any of these things?
All right.
What is an Irish?
An Irish potato.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that was too easy. Rolex.
Oh, now Rolex. Now that
Okay, nice.
one.
We got one.
Now a Rolex is more like a chapati. Lawrence knows what a chapati is, right?
I don't.
Which is a roti. You know what a roti
I don't
is?
know. No.
Oh, you don't do Indian food?
I don't know what a roti is. No.
All right. Now, what would be similar to a roti? That would be the Mexican food. What's that?
Burrito, tortilla? I don't know.
Tortilla, yeah, exactly. So that's it. And then it's more like but this one is juicy. It's more soft.
It's like bread?
It's like bread, yes,
Okay,
but soft bread, not like the hard bread which you have to break.
Yeah.
And you fry an egg, put it on top, and then you can add in flavors. You can put in tomatoes, avocado. You can throw in a cabbage, like raw cabbage, and then you roll it.
Just kind of whatever you want.
Exactly. And then that's the name. How the name Rolex.
Oh,
came
I see.
in. Yeah. So you roll it. It's a delicacy. It's a snack. It's pretty convenient. It's pretty fast.
Do you have in Uganda? You have street food?
A lot
sell-
of street foods. A lot of street foods. Yes. And it's one of the street foods.
I see.
And now it's been used. It's so funny. It was used as an emblem for tourism.
The Rolex?
One of our ministers.
They wanted to like replace the crane on the flag.
No, the crane
Rolex.
isn't an emblem for tourism. I'm not talking about the flag right now. I'm talking about something to represent the country.
Entice people.
To entice people to come to the country. I think this girl was nice.
I saw this also that tourism is like a big part of the economy. Like a lot.
Yes,
lot of
because we
tourism.
have gorilla tracking. We have some of the silverback gorilla, which is rare all over the world. It's found in Uganda.
Yeah, like
Some of them.
mountain gorillas, like
Exactly.
half of the mountain gorillas or something.
Yeah,
live
keep
in
on
Uganda.
migrating. Pretty expensive tracking them, by the way. I think it costs $500 per 30 minutes or per hour.
Oh, what, to go like look at them?
Yeah, just
like,
look at
follow
them.
them
And you
around?
might not find any.
Dude, that sounds scary though too. I don't know if I want to go hunt for gorillas.
What's that? It's good money. It's really good money for them. But the silverback gorilla is the most revered because it's pretty rare. Yeah, nobody sees it. Like
Yeah, there's only so many of them left in the world.
exactly.
Sadly. Last one. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Waragi?
What's that?
Some kind of alcohol.
Waragi.
Waragi.
Yeah,
okay,
waragi.
You can see my handwriting. I'm
Yeah.
scribbling this in the
Oh my
taxi. Like,
God.
I'm never going to be able to read
That's
this word.
waragi.
Waragi.
Yeah,
What is
that's
this?
a gin.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
a gin.
Okay.
Yeah, we have one of the best gins in the world.
Is
Uganda
it
waragi.
different from like London gin?
It is better. That's what it is. It is. I will carry for you some if I happen to travel, probably in February.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah,
My 21st birthday was gin. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the first time I could really drink in America. So that was.
Oh my
Gin,
God.
gin also means a lot to me.
So yeah, it is. It comes in different flavors. You have the pineapple flavor. You have the coconut flavor. Yeah, so it's pretty good. So that's gin actually, and that's the name Waragi.
Waragi.
Because when the British came over, colonizing everything, we had to come up with all these names based on the English names. So Waragi came from the word gin. Yeah, so Waragi, that's it. Yeah, that's part of the story.
Nice. I wish I had more of these like local words, but that's all they gave me.
Matoke, which means
so-
bananas, the staple food.
Bananas?
Yeah, matoke.
Matoke.
Raw bananas, green bananas, which are cooked. They're steamed actually, and then they're mashed, and you have this big, food.
Do you miss Uganda food?
I do miss Uganda food a lot. I miss the fish because I don't do fish here. I don't do seafood.
Oh, really? Why? Just the way they cook it? Or?
I'm super allergic to seafood.
Oh my gosh,
So, like,
this is a bad place to be allergic to seafood.
It'll
man.
literally kill me.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah,
To any
so-
like anything?
Anything, shrimp, crab, squid, whatever.
Okay.
Just smelling it, even at my workplace.
So you got to be really careful, I guess. Going
Really,
to
really
restaurants, right?
super careful.
Wow.
Super careful. And you know how Taiwan has a tendency of mixing up food?
Yeah, a lot. Like in the kitchen, they
Yeah,
just
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
gets
It's kind of
mixed in.
annoying. Yeah. So I'm really careful on what I'm eating.
That you've had some close calls before. Do you carry around one of those pens, like an EpiPen or something?
I've not reached to that point.
Okay.
This is
okay,
one of
okay,
those,
okay.
yes,
Okay,
but
okay.
I'm pretty careful.
But gotta be careful.
Yes,
I
exactly.
feel you. So this is definitely one. This seems like a cultural thing. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell me about this culture. They said several times on this website something like the way that people deal with time in Uganda is different. That they deal with it relationally instead of it not by a task but by relate. Does that make any sense to you? Does that mean anything to you at all?
Let me give you one quote. It says, "There is no hurry in Africa." You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to be on time, but I can be in time. If we say 3, if it's 3:30, I'm still in time. You know?
You're here, we're here. What's the problem?
Exactly. That's how they do it. Although I'm different as a person.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not how I do it. Like for me, time is it's different for me. But
There's
generally
also
speaking,
personality difference about how people think about.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, the more people are stereotyped, I think it kind of catches up with them, and then it becomes part of their lives, part of their cultures. Yeah, and that's what has happened.
I know it's a thing with Latin people, right? People
Yeah.
from like South America, right?
Yeah.
That they, I mean, they're famous for this for just like
For time too?
for in America just for being late everywhere,
Yeah.
Like if you say 9, like they're not going to be there before 10. And you have to accept that. Just how I'm not saying all of them, maybe not every country, but it's like a common like stereotype from
Yeah, right.
Americans, like just late everywhere.
All right. So, Latinos, they're not so good with time too.
I don't know. I want to say so good with time. Maybe
That
they're
kind
also
of
the same. There's no late in South America.
Makes
you
me
know.
feel good. Yeah. I am not the only one.
just now is now. That's all it is.
Exactly.
All right. Final. I have a name for you. George Wilberforce Katoma. He wrote.
The national anthem.
Hell yeah,
is
you got it.
actually not. What did you say?
George Wilberforce, and then my scribble. George Wilberforce K. Katuma.
No.
What?
Kasoma.
Kasoma.
I might be getting this.
Trust
I
you over
might be getting this wrong on record.
At
but
least George.
It's George. Yeah, it's George. No, Kakoma. Sorry,
Kakoma. Okay.
His name is Kakoma. George Wilberforce Kakoma.
Okay.
And yeah, he was paid peanuts for that shit, bro.
Oh yeah.
So
Was
bad.
he? Was it? He was like hired to do it.
No, I think he volunteered and said, "Hey, listen, we've got independence right now. Let's come up with a national anthem."
Kakoma, you got it.
Kakoma. He came up with one of the best national anthems in Africa, second to the South African national anthem, which is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is shared by 3 countries.
For real, it's that good. Everyone wants to use it.
Oh my God! Question: in Europe or America,
Yeah.
are there any countries that share the same tune of a national anthem?
I've never heard of that before.
Well, Africa does that. Because South Africa, Tanzania, and a third country that I can't remember share the same national anthem. Kosi Sikelele Africa.
It sounds badass.
It's badass.
I was imagining when you said you wanted to come to a recording studio to do this, I thought there would be like some instruments around, this was the part where I would ask you to sing.
All right, okay. Oh my God, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna ask, we got some guitars
We
here.
could try to do this for the B-roll.
No, it's fine, we could do something.
Yeah?
I'm gonna ask
Yeah.
Taku. Hey, Taku. Taku, is it possible to borrow a acoustic guitar briefly? Do you have an acoustic guitar here?
Classic guitar.
Acoustic.
Acoustic, yeah. Just something briefly, just for the show.
There's something important.
Yeah, we gotta do this.
Yeah, and if it's the Uganda anthem or the better one.
All right. I could do both
good.
though.
For real. Yeah.
I could do
Cool,
both,
cool,
man.
cool.
But I need to remember the words properly. Hold on. Kosi Sigaleli Africa Malupaka upa dolwayo Iva imitanda so yetu Kosi Sigalele. That's
beautiful. It's really like relaxing.
It is
It's
relaxing.
like a lullaby.
The Ugandan one is it has to be quite low. Oh, Uganda may go to pole thee, we lay our future in thy hands. United, free for liberty, together we'll always stand.
That's
it.
That's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
So,
I like the Uganda one better.
you do?
Yeah,
Right, okay. I love the
yeah.
South African better because it was more about power, man, standing up, but it's so good.
That's
so
super. That's super cool, man.
Good. Yeah, sure.
So let's talk about Taiwan.
Exactly.
Do you remember what your impression was when you first came to Taiwan?
Well, my first impression was,
No?
I hate this place.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Oh, I haven't heard this before.
Honestly, I was like, whoa, I don't see anything for me here. It was a culture shock. There was everything. I was like, no, not at all. Not this. But yeah, as time went on, I was like, wow, this is the best land to live in, Yeah, so yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Has your opinions changed? I guess your opinion certainly has changed over time, right? Over the 4 years.
My opinions have changed a
you,
lot.
I know you as a very happy guy, a very outgoing guy, a very generous guy, and I mean, a lot of people know you. Like you're a part of the social community in Taipei, right? So
exactly.
you seem like
Yeah.
you've adjusted.
I have adjusted. I've loved it, and also the world. The more the world got worse, Taiwan got better.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to leave this place, man. This is a sanctuary. This is a refuge right here. I'm gonna stay
it's like
here.
kind of Garden of Eden.
Exactly. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna stick around.
It makes me a little bit nervous almost though, right? It seems like it seems delicate.
It is delicate. Yeah. Mentioning that because I don't know, man, what other people are thinking, what other countries are thinking out there. they might want to mess up this little nice thing we have here.
I mean, of course, of course, of course. But I also think like if anything were to happen to Taiwan, like I don't know what number 2 country is. I don't know where to go from here. Like what else is there?
I don't know, man. Maybe Mars may have to
hit up Elon Musk.
Move out of this planet. Head on to the next planet.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine there's a lot of like cool little countries out there that I just don't know about, But like in my limited experience, like Taiwan is it. This is it.
Yep. It is beautiful.
How would you feel like, let's say I have like a witch friend comes in here, she has a crystal ball and she shows you your future and you don't see how you're going to die or how old you're going to die, but you know that you're going to die in Taiwan. How do you feel about that?
How would I feel about it?
Yeah.
Pretty chill, I'll be relaxed,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Like this would be a fine place to live out your life.
Exactly. I think here is good, Here is good. It gives you, what you need from life is peace. And that's what you exactly get in Taiwan. I mean, it's not like perfect.
It's still life. There's still people around.
Exactly. But the thing is, you get that peace that as like me, like personally, I wouldn't get anywhere else. Maybe back home in Africa, or even in America, in Europe, or whatever. Yeah. So.
I feel the same way. The one issue with it, though, it's something that I've said about Taiwanese people, and I haven't got a lot of pushback on it, which makes me think maybe there's something to it. That maybe the bad thing about Taiwan being so perfect is it makes people soft, right? So when you have some struggles in life, you become able to deal with them, right?
Exactly.
You become accustomed to dealing with them. Where I feel like, the most obvious thing is the political threat of China, right? Where Chinese people really, I mean, China is a hard country to live in, right? I mean, for the locals, like it's so competitive that people have to be cutthroat and evil, to just get by, right? Whereas Taiwanese people, they're really nice. They'll never steal anything. They help you, but I don't think they would be able to compete in the most obvious thing that comes to mind is like a war or like combat, But like I feel like they may not be prepared to deal with some huge threat to their country.
Well, I mean, all my life I've been taught don't be too comfortable. That's the thing. Never be too comfortable. Like always say hope for the best. No. What is it? Hope for the best, but expect the worst.
Yeah, prepare for the worst.
Yeah, prepare for the worst. Yes, anything can happen, but just be positive. But anything could happen. But if it happens, how do you deal with it? Are you strong enough emotionally, physically, and all that? And I think I'm ready for it. Yeah.
The one thing I know that Taiwanese people love to do is mountain climb. Right?
What's that again?
Do you know this? Taiwanese people love to go mountain climbing.
A lot.
Right?
Hiking,
There's a huge amount of tall mountains in Taiwan, and people love to. It's one of these things. Like if you are really comfortable, you still need to seek out challenges in your life. Because otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen. You're going to like crumble into, or you're a child, right? Like so, it's something you have to do in life. I think maybe especially as a man is like be challenged somehow, right? And like if you're just comfortable, like you have to go find those challenges. Otherwise. There's something's going to be wrong with your soul, right?
Exactly.
And this is some. I see a lot of Taiwanese people. Maybe don't challenge themselves, but there is some sections that certainly do. Because like mountain climbing is fucking hard.
That is hard. Yeah, that is hard. But I think it goes back to what do you accustom your life to? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like sometimes what is easier for me could be hard for you, and what's hard for you could be easier for me.
I can't play music like that, man. That's crazy.
That's one thing.
We mentioned 2 songs and you just play both of them like just like this.
Yeah, there were some few mistakes in there, but it was okay.
I didn't notice.
But anyway, that's what I think. Like I work out. Like you don't find a lot of Asians working out.
Not too many.
Exactly. And right now I'm doing it in my house, and then I'm gonna find some tiny ass guy. Climbing a mountain which I can't climb.
Yeah.
So
But to be fair, a lot of small people they're better at climbing because you got less weight to lift.
I think so. Yes,
right. Like kids, a lot of kids are really
and
good
their
at
bones
climbing.
are more flexible. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. I mean, I do squats and all that, so it's hard for me. But I think that's the point right there.
Yeah. Good stuff. Is there anywhere else in the world that you want to go? That you would consider living other than Taiwan?
Yes, I would like to go to Canada. Yeah, I would love to go to Canada.
Why Canada?
I don't know why, man. It's because my daughter. I was talking to my daughter one day, and I'm like, "Where would you like to?" That was like 4 years ago. She was really young.
Okay.
And I'm like, "Where would you like to go, in case we would move from Africa?" Just a random question to a young girl, and then she just said Canada. Like, I'm like, "Do you know Canada?" She's like, "No, but I just like the name Canada. It sounds cool." I'm like, all right.
It is a cool name.
Yeah, Canada it is, then. So Canada it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. You said also you've been to different countries.
Yes.
UK?
Yeah, I was in the UK. I was in Norwich for a camp. It's called the Soul Survivor. It's a Christian camp, and we were doing, it was basically meeting people, socializing, doing music and all that. Yeah, most of my music, a lot of my Western exposure to music came from there. Yeah, I played a lot of British pop.
For real?
Yeah.
Cool. What's your favorite Beatles song?
Oh, Let It Be.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's always been Let It Be.
Classic.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Yeah. How about your travel in Africa? It's also been related to music?
Yes,
to
it
the
has.
church?
It has, because I was the music that I do right now. My music was I was trained as a gospel musician, Christian musician. I train churches, I train choirs, voice instruments, and everything. And because of that, I would travel to different churches all over Africa, just equipping them, training the choirs, resolving conflicts, because there were also leadership problems, and that was also one of my expertise on how to deal with the leadership. Okay, what's the problem here? Is it the leader? Is it the choir? And yeah, so that was it.
Dope. All right, anything else you want to share with the people?
Yeah, man. Thanks for watching this, and it's a privilege, man. It's an honor to. I mean, we met, and I'll be honest. I don't know if I should say this in camera,
Say it.
the first
Wait,
time
what are
I
you
met,
gonna say? Say it. Go ahead.
It's not bad. It's not bad. But
Okay.
the first time I met Joel, we were James Joyce, and I saw in my own sight, with my own heart, my own thinking, I saw this proud guy. He looked good, and I thought, this
Maybe a
guy,
little bit.
this guy must be proud, man. I didn't even say hi to him. He was the first to say hi to me, and from that day onwards, we've had this relationship going on.
Yeah.
yeah.
I do.
I don't know if you remember
night.
that.
I
You
definitely do. I definitely
Yeah.
do. I don't think that was the first time we met.
That was the
I
first
think
time.
that was-
Trust me. It was the first ever time we'd met.
100%.
100%.
Because that's the first conversation I remember, but I don't remember why was I there in the first place. I
There
thought,
was a band playing.
You were playing?
I wasn't playing though.
Okay.
It was another band playing. It was what's that band? The one that won something last year with ICRT. Yeah, it was that band. And I was like, who's this guy? He looks
so you were just
proud.
there. You were just there hanging out, and we just.
Because I'm always in the music circles,
Right,
and
right.
I used to play for a funk band, the Booty Slappers, and because of that, I was walking around.
I saw you
connecting.
playing there though. This must have been a different time.
That could have been a different
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
This
yeah.
time I wasn't playing.
Yeah.
I actually came in late. Yeah, and what's the name of that band? Slipped my mind. But there was that one band that was playing, and everybody
Balcazar?
No.
Okay.
What's the name of the band that Sam
I
Silverman
have
was in?
no idea. I have literally
can't-
zero
I can't-
idea.
I can't remember. I can't recall the name. But that's how we met, man.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pretty awesome. So I mean, personally, one thing that Taiwan has taught me is, number one, not to judge people. I know people judge me. It's okay. But I'm a good person. I don't have to brag about it. But one thing that I've learned as a person is not to judge other people, and to meet people, get to know them, and get to understand them, and then take it from there. So yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right then.
Adios.
Adios.